Pica, pica. Porque le preciso presente. Hello, Miss.
Hello.
Hello, Miss.
Hi, Fabricio.
Volumen 1 o volumen 2. How are
No,
you?
we are going just to read. It's
El
just the
dos.
lecture. It's just the lecture. Solo es la lectura.
How are you? You vamos a leer, Miss.
We are going to read the lecture. Solo es la lectura. ¿Ok? Recuerden que al inicio vimos lo que eran las high frequency words. Ahí sí trabajamos. Ya hoy vamos a leer la lectura. Vamos a leer Ruby in Her Own Time. Que esa lectura ustedes la pueden encontrar en los libros de alquiler, en los que están forraditos de azul. Ahí pueden encontrar la historia.
¿Dónde están esos pichinguitos de dibujos animados?
Exacto. Ustedes pueden practicar en casa con esos libros de lectura. Creo que es el número 3. En el número 2 aparece la lectura. Si no en el 2 es en el 3. ¿Ok?
Ya llevamos dos
Ruby in Her Own
lecturas.
Time. Yes. Llevamos bastantes lecturas. No solo 2, son más.
Porque ya leímos a la Miss Cindy, ahora vamos a leerle a usted.
In English. Exacto. Este es el número 2, ¿verdad, papá de Fabricio? Este es el número 2, ¿verdad? ¿Qué número tiene? 1, 2 o 3. 3. Excelente. Thank you.
Vamos a ocupar el cuaderno 3.
No, sí, pero solo es para que usted lo vea. No es que lo vamos a rayar, porque recuerde que esos son de alquiler. Eso no hay que romperlos, rayarlos, no. Eso hay que cuidarlos. ¿Ok? Very good.
Yeah.
So when you listen your name, you are going to say present. Okay? Natalie is here. Yes. Dariana is here. No? Say present when you heard your name.
Present.
Matías. Matías.
Página mi. Present.
I don't remember the page, Natalie. Solo sé que es en el número 3.
Present.
En la de ustedes no sé qué número es la página en el de ustedes. Porque a mí me aparece otra página en la que yo tengo. ¿Ok? Is this one. Wait. I think, yo creo, Natalie, que es la página 52 del libro número 3. Creo. Porque en el de ustedes no sé cómo aparece, ¿ok? Creo que es la página 52 en su libro. En el número 3, el que dice número 3. Recuerden de cuidar esos libros. En el 3.
Miss. Es volumen 52.
Página 52. Sí. Recuerden de cuidar esos libros. ¿Ok? Hay que cuidarlos. Esos no se van a rayar. Ahí no vamos a escribir nuestro nombre, no, porque en la portada ya lo trae. En la cover page ya está. No es necesario que usted me vaya a rayar con lápiz carbón. No. ¿Ok?
Si si no tenemos cuidado, y se nos puede caer este cuaderno y ahí ya no vamos a tener de estos cuadernos porque son frágiles. Y si se caen ya no tenemos.
Exactly. Okay. When you heard your name, you're going to say present again. Zoe? No. Hazel?
Present.
Fernanda Córdoba? María
Present.
Fernanda? Alan?
Present.
Alan? Dana?
Present.
Aida? Fabricio? Ashley? Ashley? Alejandra?
Present.
Francesca? Lia? Jan. Very good, guys. No les voy a robar más tiempo, so we're going to start writing. Mande.
No me dijo.
Ah, al inicio sí la llamé, ya la tengo apuntada, no se preocupe. Al inicio ya la había llamado. ¿Ok?
Gracias.
Yes. Very good, guys. So, the lecture for today is Ruby in her own time. This is the name of the lecture. Ruby in her own time. Very good. Remember to turn off your microphones, porque cuando escucho ruido yo tiendo a forzar la voz. Entonces hay que tenerlos apagados ahorita, hasta que yo pregunte. ¿Ok? Cuando yo pregunte, usted lo va a encender. Pero por los momentos no, mantengámoslo apagado porque se escucha el ruido que hay en su casa. Y eso hace que yo fuerce la voz. ¿Ok? Very good. And we have a sentence here. What happens when we grow up? What happens when we grow up? For example, here we have a baby. Look. Baby. What happened then? We have a girl here. Okay? This is when we grow up. We change our hair, change our hands, our arms, our legs, change all of our body. We make more height. When we're a baby, we're very short, very small. But when we grow up, we make more tall. Okay? That happens when we grow up. Okay? First, we are a baby, then girl, then adult, okay? And then an older person. Baby, girl, okay? Woman, the last one, older, okay? Mande, Aida.
Miss, estamos hablando del crecimiento.
Exactly. Grow up. This is the name in English. Grow up. What happens when we grow up? For example, what happened with our legs? Our legs. What's happened with our legs?
Pero cuando somos pequeñitos no podemos, porque los papás los tienen que cargar.
Exactly. Very good.
Cuando somos un poco más grandes y aprendemos a caminar, cuando somos pequeñitos ya podemos caminar. Y también cuando seamos grandes ya podemos caminar. Ahí la girl, ahí está baby, ahí está aprendiendo a caminar y de ahí ella ya está creciendo.
Exactly. And what changed? Look, the hair. Change the hair. Makes more long. Okay? Look at their hands. Change. There are more. Very good. That happened when we grow up. And we have here We have the name of the story. We have the author. We have the illustrated by, and we have the genre. The name of the story is Ruby in Her Own Time. What is the name of the story, Alejandra?
The story.
Yes, what is the name? Ruby.
Ruby. Ruby.
In her own time.
You see the point.
Ruby in her own time. This is the name of the story.
Ruby in the punch time.
Own time.
On time.
Very good. Ruby in her own time. Who is the author? Thank you, Alejandra. The author is Jonathan Hammett. Jonathan Hammett. Remember the name because at the end I'm going to ask. The author is Jonathan Hammett. Illustrated by Rebecca Harry. Who is the person who drew? Rebecca Harry. And what is the genre of the story?
Animal fantasy.
The genre of the story is animal fantasy. Excellent. Animal fantasy. Very good. And here we have, again, the name of the story is Ruby in Her Own Time. Matthias, what is the name of the story?
Yeah, miss.
Yo. What is the name of the story?
Ruby in the act.
In her.
Ruby in her.
Own time.
Her time. Time.
Very good. The name of the story is Ruby in Her Own Time. And who is the writer? Who is the author of the book, Aida? Who is the author of the book, Aida? Jonathan Emmett. Jonathan Emmett. This is the person who wrote the book. Dana, illustrated by? Who is the illustrator of the book? Rebecca Harry. Excellent. Illustrated by Rebecca Harry. Natalie, what is the genre of the story, Natalie? What is the genre? Fantasy. Very good. The genre of the story is animal fantasy. And what is animal fantasy? It's a story with animal characters that talk. This is an animal fantasy. It's a story with animal characters that talk. Next, you will read about the growing duck family. Very good. So we're going to start with the lecture, guys. Look the images. We have a family. Family of what? A duck family. We have mom and we have dad. And here in the next image, we have some eggs. Okay? So we're going to start reading this beautiful story.
And down of that, we have the mom in the rain.
In the nest, and it's raining. Excellent. So listen, because then you are going to read it. Once upon a time, upon a nest beside a lake, there lived two ducks, a mother duck and a father duck. I'm going to read it slow now. Once upon a time, upon a nest beside a lake, there lived two ducks, a mother duck and a father duck. Then we have here, there were 5 eggs in the nest. Mother duck sat upon the nest all day and all night. through howling wind and driving rain, looking after the eggs. All 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eggs. Okay? So the first part, Fernanda Cordova is going to read it. Once upon a time.
Upon a nest beside a lake, there lived 2 ducks, a mother duck and a father duck.
Excellent. The mother duck and the father duck. Fabricio, read it.
There are maturity.
Wait, Fernanda. It's Fabricio. Thank you, Fernanda. Fabricio, it's your turn.
There were
5
eggs in the
eggs.
eggs. Mother duck sat up.
Yupan.
Nest all day and all night.
Excellent. There were 5 eggs in the nest. Mother duck sat deep in the nest all day and all night. Dana, help me with the last part, please. Through howling
wind
and driving rain, looking after the eggs, all
fire
of
them.
Excellent. Through howling wind and driving rain, looking after the eggs. All 5 of them. Very good. Then we have the other part. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the beginning. We have 4 eggs at the beginning. The eggs began to hatch. Okay? There is missing 1. And we're going to guess why. Then, one bright morning, the eggs began to hatch. 1, 2, 3, 4 little beaks poked out into the sunlight. 1, 2, 3, 4 little ducklings shook their feathers in the breeze. We'll call them Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca, said Father Duck and Mother Duck. Look, Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca are the names of the ducks. Here we have 4, but there is missing 1. Okay, very good. So now Darian is going to read. Then one bright morning, the eggs began to hatch. Read it, please, Darian.
The one
bright morning,
the
eggs began to hatch. Very good. Then one bright morning, the eggs began to hatch. Alan is going to help me with the next one. 1. Hola, Alan. Help me. You are going to read. 1, 2, 3, 4. Read it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Little beaks.
Little beaks
Poked
Put
out
out
into
it to
mhm,
the
sunlight.
sunlight.
Excellent.
Sunlight.
Excellent, Mala. 1, 2, 3, 4 little beaks poked out into the sunlight. Hazel, help me with the other part. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3,
Yes.
4.
Mhm.
Me.
Yes, Natalie.
Duck.
Yes, Natalie. Again, Hazel.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mhm. Little ducklings
Little donkeys
shook
shook
their
their
feathers
feathers in the
breeze.
breeze.
Excellent.
The breeze.
In the breeze. Very good. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4 little ducklings shook their feathers in the breeze. The other part, Aida, read it, please.
Welcome
Them.
them Rufus.
Yes, Rufus.
Yes, Rufus. Rufus. Rosie.
Rosie.
Rosie and Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Rebecca
Said.
said Father
Father.
Duck,
Duck.
Father Duck, and Mother Duck
Agreed.
agreed.
Excellent. Well, call them Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca, said Father Duck, and Mother Duck agreed. Remember that names? Rory, Rufus, Rosie, and Rebecca are the names of the 4 ones, okay? Then we have this part. Look in the first part, there is missing 1 egg, right? Because at the beginning we have just 4, and we have 5 eggs. So we're going to read why. But the 5th egg did nothing. Will it ever hatch? Said Father Duck. It will, said Mother Duck, in its own time. And sure enough, it did. She's very small, said Father Duck. What shall we call her? Well, call her Ruby, said Mother Duck, because she's small and precious. So what is the name? Ruby. Ruby, because it's very small and precious.
Of the name of the story say
Yes.
Ruby in her own. Se parece a la historia del patito feito, por eso.
Yes, very good. So now it's going to help me to read. Let me check. Matthias. Help me, Matthias. But the fifth egg did nothing. Will it ever hatch? Said Father Duck. Again, but the 5th egg did nothing.
Fifth is nothing.
But the 5th egg did nothing.
the
his
egg
did
nothing.
Will it ever hatch?
Will it ever hatch?
Said Father Duck.
Sir, Father Duck.
Excellent. Alejandra, help me with the other part. It will, said Mother Duck, in its own time. Will. Said. Mother.
Duck.
In its own time. It will, said Mother Duck, in its own time. Thank you. Very good. Alan, and sure enough, it did. Read it, please. Alan.
Monday.
Read it, please. And sure enough, it did. Again, but Alan. And sure enough, it did. It did. Thank you. Fernanda Cordova, the other part. She's very small.
She's very small, said Father Duck. What shall we call her? We'll call her Ruby, said Mother Duck, because she's small and precious.
Excellent. She's very small, said Father Duck. What shall we call her? Well, call her Ruby, said Mother Duck, because she's small and precious. Okay, very good. Then we have here, they are eating, right? So we have Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca ate whatever they were given. They ate anything and everything. But Robbie ate nothing. Will she ever eat? Said Father Duck. She will, said Mother Duck, in her own time. Fabricio, read the first part, please.
Rufus, Rory,
Yes.
Rosie, and Rebecca
Ate wherever
they
were
given. They
ate
anything
anything
and everything.
Excellent, and everything. Natalie, help me with the other part. But Ruby ate nothing.
But Ruby ate nothing. With
she
ever
eat, said Father Duck.
Said Father Duck.
She will
say,
said Mother Duck.
Says Mother Duck.
In her own time.
In all time.
In her own time.
In her own time.
Excellent, very good. We pass to the other one. Look. We have Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca. Okay? And we have, and sure enough, she did. Look, Ruby is eating the what, Aida? Ruby is eating what?
The animal.
The animals? What is eating?
The plant.
Excellent, the plants, very good. And sure enough, she did. She ate. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca swam off whenever they were able. They swam anywhere and everywhere. Dana, help me please from here. And sure.
Sure.
Enough.
Enough.
Mhm.
It
Excellent. Thank you. Hazel, Rufus,
Rufus and
Rory,
Rory,
Rosie,
Rosie and
Rebecca,
Rebecca
mhm, swam,
swam
mhm, off
off
whenever
whenever
they were able.
were a werewolf.
They were able.
They a
Were.
werewolf.
Okay, again, listen. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca swam off whenever they were able. Again, Hazel.
Ruby,
Rufus,
Rufus,
Rory,
Crying,
Rosie,
Rosie, and Rebecca
swam
swam off
whenever
whenever they were able.
Excellent, very good. Thank you, Hazel. The last one part, Aida.
Yes.
Mande.
May I go to the bathroom, please?
You can go. Aida, they swam.
They swam and
Anywhere.
one and
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Excellent. Matthias, pay attention. They swam anywhere and everywhere. Very good. Then we have this. But Ruby swam now here. Will she ever swim? Said Father Duck. She will, said Mother Duck, in her own time. And sure enough, she did. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca grew bigger. And Ruby grew bigger too. Her feathers grew out, and her wings grew broad and beautiful. Alejandro is going to help me. But Ruby swam now here. Mhm. Will mhm. She ever swim? Said Father Duck.
Father Duck.
Again, Alejandro. But Ruby swam now here.
The Ruby. The sound.
Now
Here.
here.
I hear.
Will she ever swim? Will she ever swim?
We Mother duck.
Very good. Dariana, she will, said Mother Duck in her own time. Dariana,
She said.
she will.
Will.
She
She
will.
will.
Said Mother Duck
The mother duck.
in her own time.
In
Her
her
own time.
own time.
Again. She will.
Will.
She will.
She will.
Said Mother Duck
The duck.
in her own time.
In her own time.
Very good. Thank you. Matthias, the next part. And sure enough, she did.
And sure enough, she
Did.
did.
And sure enough, she did. Excellent.
And
The other part. Thank you, Matthias. The other part, let me check. Aida.
Rufus,
Rufus.
Rufus, Roy, Rui, Lucy, and Rebecca
Grew.
grew we
Be.
bigger.
Girl. Excellent. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca grew bigger. Fernanda Cordova, the last one.
And Ruby grew bigger too. Her father grew
Feathers.
feathers get out, and her wings get bright and beautiful.
Excellent. And Ruby grew bigger too. Her feathers grew out and her wings grew broad and beautiful. Very good. Then we have this. And when Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca began to fly, Ruby flew too. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca flew far and wide. They flew out across the water. They flew up among the trees. Hazel, help me with the first part. And when
Ruby,
Rufus,
Ruby,
Rory,
Rory, and Ruby,
Rory, Rosie,
Rosie, and
Rebecca
Rebecca
began.
began to fly.
Excellent. Excellent. And when Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca began to fly, Alan, the next part.
Monday,
Read it. Ruby flew too.
Ruby
Flew
blue
too.
two
Ruby flew too.
blue
Two.
two
Very good. Fabricio, the next one. Rufus, Rory, Rosie.
Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca flew far and
Wide.
I then flew out
Across.
across the water. They flew up on
Among.
the trees.
Excellent. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca flew far and wide. They flew out across the water. They flew up among the trees. Very good. And we have here. But Ruby flew farther and wider. She flew out beyond the water. She flew up above the trees. She flew anywhere and everywhere. She stretched out her beautiful wings and soared high among the clouds. So, Dariana is going to help me to read. But Ruby flew farther. Repeat after me, Dariana. But Ruby flew farther and wider. She flew out beyond the water. Again. But Ruby flew farther and wider. She flew out beyond the water. Beyond the water. Excellent. Matthias, she flew up above the trees.
She flew up above the tree.
Excellent. She flew up above the trees. Natalie, the next one. She flew anywhere and everywhere.
She
Flew
flew
anywhere
anywhere
and everywhere.
and anywhere.
Again,
Everywhere.
listen, repeat after me. She
She
flew
flew
anywhere
anywhere
and everywhere.
and everywhere.
Now listen. She flew anywhere and everywhere. Read it.
She
Flew
flew and everywhere.
mhm,
Everywhere.
everywhere. Excellent. Alejandra, the next one. She stretched
Red
out
out
her
her
beautiful
beautiful
wings
wings
and soared
and stark
high
high
among
among
the
the
clouds.
clouds.
Again. She stretched
She stretched
out her beautiful
out her beautiful
wings
wings
and soared high
and soaring high
among the clouds.
among the clouds.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you, Alejandra. Then we have this. Mother duck and father duck watched Ruby flying off into the distance. Will she ever come back? Said Mother Duck. She will, said Father Duck, in her own time. Very good. Dana, read the first part, please. Mother Duck. Dana, Mother Duck
Mother duck and
Father Duck
father duck
watched
grew
Ruby flying
flying
off
off
into
into the
distance.
distance.
Again, repeat after me. Mother Duck
Mother duck
and Father Duck
and father duck
watch
watch Ruby
flying off
flying
off
off
into the distance.
into
the
the
distance.
distance.
Excellent, very good. Matthias, the next part. Will she ever come back? Said Mother Duck.
When she on the compass on the map.
Will
She
ever
ever
come
come
back? Said Mother Duck.
Said Mother Duck.
Again. Will she ever come back?
Will she ever come back?
Said Mother Duck.
Said Mother Duck.
Excellent. Fabricio, the last one. She will, said Father Duck, in her own time.
She will, said Father Duck, in her own time.
Excellent. Time. Very good. Then we have this one. And sure enough, she did. And sure enough, she did. Natalie, read it, please. Read it. And sure enough, she did. 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 No escucho, Natalie. And sure enough, she did. She did. Excellent. Now I have a question for some of you. For example, I have a question for Hazel. Hazel, what is the name of the story, Hazel? A Place to Play, Life in the Forest, or Ruby in Her Own Time?
Ruby in her own time.
Excellent. Ruby in Her Own Time. Okay, wait, guys, wait. Okay, the next question is for, let me check, for Alan. Who is the author of the story, Alan? Christian Smith, Jonathan Emmett, or Miss Catherine Alberto? Alan? Who is the author of the story, Alan? 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 Alan. Fernanda Cordova, who is the author of the story? Christian Smith, Jonathan Emmett, or Catherine Alberto? No escucho, Fernanda.
Oops. Jonathan Emmett.
Excellent. Jonathan Emmett. Alejandra, who is the illustrator of the story? Rebecca Harry, Jonathan Emmett, or Miss Catherine Alberto? Who is the illustrator? Jonathan. Jonathan is the author. Jonathan is the author. Who is the illustrator? Rebecca, Jonathan, or Miss Catherine?
Rebecca.
Rebecca Harvey is the illustrator of the story. Aida, what is the genre of the story? Realistic fiction, love story, or animal fantasy?
Animal fantasy.
Excellent. Animal fantasy. Animal fantasy. Dariana, about what is the story? A family dog, places to play, or bees? About what is the story? A family dog, places to play, or bees?
Family dog.
A family dog. Fabricio, help me with this. When did this happen? Ruby was the last duckling to hatch. When happens this? At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the story? In which part past this? Ruby was the last duckling to hatch. At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end? En la parte que dijimos que Ruby fue la última en salir del cascarón. At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end. ¿Cuándo se mencionó eso? Al inicio. Excellent. At the beginning. Very good. Matías, when did this happen? In her own time, Ruby grew up and learned to fly. What happened is? At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end, Matías?
And the beginning.
Huh? At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end?
And the beginning.
At the beginning. At the beginning, Ruby empezó a volar.
No. And the
No? In the middle.
middle.
In her own time, Ruby grew up and learned to fly. Very good. This one is for Dana. Dana, when did this happen? Ruby come back with a family of her own time. At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end, Dana? Ruby regresará con su familia en su propio tiempo. Ruby come back with a family of her own time. When happens that? Beginning, middle, or end?
End.
Excellent. At the end. Very good. I have a question for Hazel. How many eggs were in the nest, Hazel? 2, 1, or 5? How many eggs were in the nest?
5.
Excellent. 5. Very good. And I have a question for Natalie. Natalie, what are the characters of the story? Natalie, what are the characters of the story? Personajes, characters. What are the characters of the story, Natalie? We have 5 ducks, but what are the names of that ducks? Turn on your microphone.
Pato sobre pato.
What are the characters? Los personajes. What are the characters of the story?
Patito.
No, say the names. No patitos, it's in English. Say the names. What are the characters?
The dog.
Mother duck, father duck, Rosie,
Baby.
Rosie, Rebecca,
Ruby.
Ruby. What else? There's missing one.
Rory.
Rosie, Rory, Rebecca, and what is the other one?
Duck. Ruby.
Father dog, yes, we know. What is the other one? We have
Ruby.
Rory, Rosie, Rebecca. What is the other one? Ruby. And the other one, there's missing one. Falta uno de los hermanitos. ¿Cuál es el otro hermanito?
Rory.
Rory. We have, listen, we have Rory, Rosie, Rebecca, and what is the other one?
Ruby.
Ruby, and the other one? Rufus. Rufus. The mother duck and the father duck. Excellent. Fabricio, what was the name of the story, Fabricio? What was the name of the story?
Ruby
in her own
time.
Excellent. Ruby in her own time. Excellent. Very good, guys. You pay attention. Do you have questions, guys?
No.
Did you like the story?
Yes, I have questions. I like yes.
Okay, very good.
Story.
So guys, we finished for today. Okay,
I have a question.
tell me, Fernanda.
When Ruby come back with her family, is he an adult?
Yes, is he an adult? Yes. And then she made a family. Después ella va a crear una familia. Okay? Very good. Good question, Fernanda. So guys, if you don't have questions, that's all. Then we finish the class. Remember, take care and see you the next week. Okay?
Thank you too, Miss.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.